All right, Coach, initial thoughts on the win, first win of the season, came from behind to do it.
Yeah, I think really difficult game. We had a difficult time establishing our possession, and I think that has a lot to do with UNF, and they came out and they pressed us, and they worked incredibly hard and had a really good game plan against us, so we weren't in control in the way that we like to be, and that resulted in us turning over the ball in some dangerous positions. And for me, though, all in all, you go down 1-0, you find a way to get back and to win the game. That shows character. And you know, winning college soccer games is really difficult. And so, you know, we got to be happy with the win, but we'll analyze the performance because there's a lot I think that we can improve on in that game.
Kind of looking at the turnovers that you had this game, a lot of them coming from that back line, a lot of shifting in that back line in terms of the subs you made, bringing in some players. What was kind of missing within that back line that started the game versus how the team?
Well, I think all in all, when you look at that back line, it's a different back line. And, you know, we started with Rafa as the left center back. He came out with a hamstring injury. Andreas came in and did a good job, but he didn't play in the weight game. He was fresh, but trying to, you know, kind of get back to his best level. Mael started in the outside and came inside. Zane came back in, so there was a lot of substitution in the back line. That's not usual for us. So I think they have to develop a little bit more confidence in terms of a better understanding of the passes that they need to be playing, but it's a really new group. So, you know, when you take a look at that back line, pretty much everybody, minus Anderson, is different. So there's a lot we have to figure out.
Kind of looking at that midfield, just trying to play through that press, that very compact midfield that you have to play. It causes a lot of problems for you in terms of the way you like to build, because it's usually those successive passes. Every time you were going out on the wing, they were sending three against you. Every time you were going in the middle, they were crashing the ball every time. If teams see film on that and they know that's what they need to try and do against you, how do you kind of combat that and make teams not play?
Well, no, it's a really difficult situation because we were pretty much man-marked with our three central midfield players. And so when we did come out with the ball, if we got it to the center back and he started to kind of progress forward and had a little bit of space, the movements from our center mids, they had to be really, really good. They had to be the right movements at the right moment to create a little bit of space to fit a pass. And so that's probably one of the most difficult situations for us to solve, is when you're 3v3, even numbers in the middle with your center back coming out with the ball, and we just have to get better. And we'll train it, because we can absolutely come out of those situations and progress the ball again.
Did any player really stand out to you tonight?
I think Gino came on and had a good game. I think he made an impact when he came in the second half, and, you know, created some chances. So I think he was good. I think Luca Dorado, you can see him starting to get to his level, and I think Lucas Moro, actually. I think Lucas Moro started really well, but then he went out on the wing, and I thought he had an excellent game. There was like this 10-15 minute period where we had to kind of fight in the second half to get back in the game, and I thought he had a really good performance.
Speaking of Lucas Dorado, is he doing okay? Saw him kind of limping towards the end of the game there.
Yeah, I mean, he's now getting back to fitness, so it's tough when you miss a lot of preseason and you're just getting into training. So I think we're trying to bring Luca along and get him up to his best, and that might hopefully happen sooner than later.
Can you talk about Mauricio Villalobos, because this isn't the first time that he's gotten a clutch goal for you guys. He had one last season as well.
Yeah.
Talk about Villalobos' ability to really, I mean, he's the leader of this team. He's the captain.
100%.
So talk about his ability to be able to just succeed when it matters most.
Well, I think he was really switched on in that moment, and I think, you know, UNF, there was some confusion in their back line. I think probably the center back thought the goalkeeper was going to get it, the goalkeeper thought the center back was going to get it, and Mauricio thought, I'm going to go get it. And so I think just in that confusion, he was the one that was paying attention and switched on to that moment. That was so important. But I just think now, as a footballer, can settle us down and help us get control of the game. He usually makes good decisions, and then as a human being, he's a great example for how to be a professional, and he's just a great human being, and the guys really respect him. So they follow his lead, and he's become even more vocal now in this last year, and I think it's really helped the culture to have a leader like Mael, and then we have other leaders within the team too, but Mael's been great.
How much of a difference did Gino Vivi coming off the bench in the second half give to this game?
I think it was a big difference. I think he was a threat. And he could beat players, he would run in behind, he cut inside, had a chance there. So I think he's very dynamic, and he found a way to really influence the game. And I think it was important that he come on and produce that for us.
You've had true freshman Wambi Munoz in the net now for the first 2 games. How would you evaluate him so far and his performance?
I think it's a solid performance. I think there's things that we'll improve on because we like to play out of the back, and I think we went long. We played quite direct at times, which when we play direct, generally the ball just comes right back down our throat, and we're all stretched, and now the ball's dropping in spaces that we're not ready to defend. And I think this group is still very young. I think there were at least 6 new players on the field, 6 starters. So we have to really get comfortable with our identity and really, really dive into how we're going to play.
You hit the road later this week to take on FGCU.
Yeah.
What do you want this team to improve on from this game that you want to see them do against FGCU?
I want us to be better on the ball. Just the unforced errors, the unforced turnovers, those aren't. We don't need to have those. The players here they're better in those moments than they should tonight.
All right, just wanted to ask about Beto. Came out.
I don't know. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to go and talk to Tessa, so I'm not sure where it's at.
Good. Thank you, Coach.
I was going to say
He's supporting for us.
Oh, no, I was going to ask a question. Yeah, in the second half there, it got a bit chippy. You could see UNF was trying to get under, UCS players' skin, but in the end, you kind of turned it back on them, and they were the ones who got the yellow cards in the second half, and they were the ones who kind of got distracted. How important is that for the players to kind of like not let them, get under their skin, keep their composure?
Yeah, I think it's a fine balance, right? Because you have to compete, and sometimes competing means it's going to get a little bit nasty. But then when you get distracted by that, and then you stop doing the things you're supposed to be doing, you don't execute on the tasks because you are so focused on either this guy that's kicked me or the referee that has made a call I don't like, and you get distracted. That's when it's a problem. But also you can't back down. So, I think that you have to be on that fine line.
How did it feel to score your first goal?
Oh, amazing feeling. We lost 1-0. I know I'm told when we have the occasion in the corner, it's more important for me to be here for the team. And today it's my day. I'm really happy. I hope I can do that every weekend, every day. But really good feeling today.
You had the assist there from Gino Vivi. What kind of difference did he make coming off the bench in the second half?
Quelle différence il a fait quand il est sorti du banc au deuxième mi-temps?
Gino is a really good player. He is really speedy with the ball. He ran a lot. He defends a lot, and he has this feeling on him all the time. It's always at 100%, and we need to have this type of player in the team. It's for what I'm really happy to have Gino in the team.
What made you decide to play collegiate soccer for UCF?
Because I want to a new challenge in my life, and UCF came on me. I talk a lot with the assistant, with the head coach, and I feel I can be important for the team. It's for what I chose UCF.
Now that you've gotten 2 regular season games under your belt, what's the biggest thing that you've learned so far?
The mentality for sure. We don't have the same mentality in France. Here I feel like a family all the time. If you need some help, all the guys it's here for you. It's amazing. After 1 week, after 2 days, I feel I was in the family like us. And when you knew it's not your country, it's not your language, your culture, it's more important to feel really good. That's for what I feel good in the field.
Mauricio Villalobos, your captain, got the game-winning goal for you guys tonight. What has it been like? Because Mauricio as captain, what's he been like as captain, and how has he impacted you in your brief time here so far?
Mauricio, it's an example for me. I think it's an example for all the players. He work really hard all the day. He's always happy. If you need some help, he's always here for you. It's normal. He scored today, but it's normal. Like when you're good during all the time, one day you score for the team, and today was Mauricio. Like, I'm really happy for him.
You guys are heading to play FGCU later in the week. And looking for your first road win, what do you think you guys need to do in order to pick up that first road win of the season?
Recuperation for now. And after work hard every day with all the staff. Stay on this mentality. We had work hard during all the preseason. Today we win because we had a work hard. And if we keep this way, I think we can have a really good season together.
All right, Mael, come back for the win. Looks like you just straight up took the ball from that guy. I mean, take us through that goal.
Well, I just never stopped fighting for that ball. I was like, it's in the air. I don't think he's looking at me. I'm coming from behind, so I'm gonna just keep going. And I think he didn't notice I was there, and I was able to just like touch it a little bit forward, and then I just had the goal in my mind, shot, and thankfully it went in.
Take me through that moment, because you guys are already tied, and your goal basically gave this team the win. So talk about just being aware in that situation.
I mean, I think it's a very important moment of the game. I think tough games like the one today, where it's a little bit sloppy, it's a little bit disorganized, it's the little moments that are going to mark a difference. And I think if we are, as you said, aware in that moment, we're going to be able to get the difference that we needed in that moment of the game. And I think I was focused enough to go fight for that ball, and thankfully it went in, and I was able to give the win to my team.
How big of a difference did Gino Vivi coming off the bench in the second half play for this team?
A lot. I think he's, as we all know, he's a really good player. He loves to go in behind. He's really good with the ball, and I think he gives a lot of game rhythm, a lot of intensity to the team. And I think it was very important that he was able to come in, help us, and I think also other players did a really good job that maybe we're not playing a lot in the past game. And they were able to help the team a lot today, so it's really important. We're gonna need everyone, as we say every time in the locker room, and something internally. We need everyone in this team, but that's why we're 27 players, and games like this is when we show that why the roster that we have is very important, and the depth that we have is really good.
What is the biggest thing that you have learned so far about this group now that you have 2 matches under your belt, regular season wise?
First thing I'll say is that college soccer and college games are hard to win. They're never easy. We had a really tough game last Thursday, and then today it's games that we live on the edge. One little difference can make us lose a game, and one little difference can make us win a game too. So I think living on the edge and being able to stay poised in that moment and to stay calm is gonna mark a difference if we're gonna be a top team this year or not.
What made you decide to come back for one more year?
I think just the environment, the people. I think it's very important to focus on the process, to focus on the journey, focus on the final destination, but also it's really important to focus on the company. And I think the people that I have around me, the coaches, the players, the medical staff, everyone who works behind the scenes, even Kenny working in social media, everyone. I think they all do a great job. And I mean, when I had the offer to come back, I didn't think it twice. I know it was a yes for sure.
There's a lot of new faces on this team. How was it like to have them integrate with the team? And which of them now that you have 2 matches under your belt, has stood out to you on the pitch so far?
Well, it's always a challenge every summer that we come back to get to know the new guys, to integrate them with the team, into the culture of the team, to get them focused on what we want, or what the collective objectives are, and I think it's always a challenge, but I think the faster we can make them adapt, the better they're going to play and the better results they're going to give us to us in their performances. So I think that's really important. It's a really big challenge, and I think we've been doing it great so far, but we can do it better for sure. And I think who stood out to me, I think I'll say maybe I think everyone. Just naming one is really tough because they all do a great job. The transfers, the freshmen, everyone. It's never easy to come into a new environment and adapt. It's never easy, and I think they all done it really, really good. So I think picking one picking one or two is really tough, but I think all of them they've done a great job.
You've had true freshman Juanvi Munoz in the net now for two matches. What have you seen out of him so far?
I think a lot of security. He has a lot of personality. He has a big personality too in the locker room, and I think that helps us, especially coming from a keeper that he has a lot of vision from behind, and he can talk a lot from behind. So I think a lot of security, a lot of confidence, and I think he can keep improving his game. And if he keeps growing, he's going to be a really important part of this team.
You mentioned the disorganization during the game earlier. How do you guys think you can improve from that as you go on the road to face FGCU later in the week?
I think we can have more calm when we have the ball, especially in the transition moment when we regained the ball. We gave it away really quick, really fast again. So it was like a go back and forth game. It was at the beginning of the game, especially the first half. It was really sloppy, I think. But it's also that we can get better as the games go on, and I think once we have 5-6 games in the season, I think we can get better at that. And also, being able to improve with a win is what we want too. So I think there's always space for improvement, but if we do it tonight with a win, it's always great for the team.
How important was it to get the win tonight? To get that win tonight?
It's always important, especially because it's the home opener. We want to set a statement that in our house, in our field, we're not going to give points away. And even if it was a tough game, maybe it was not the prettiest game that we played, but I think big teams are able to get a win when it's tough, and I think we were able to demonstrate that today.
Hey, just real quick, I know you want to get in with the team. I just want to say,
Okay.
I asked Coach about the intensity in that second half. It got a bit chippy. As captain, how is it important for you to show that your team is also up for the fight, but also that you can't get off your game? You got to stay on track and get the win.
I think it's really important to not get carried away by emotions. I think we did a better job in the second half to maybe find the most penetrating pass, but don't get super crazy and don't get super frustrated when it's not on. I think we had a little bit more patience, but it was not slow. We were still fast, moving the ball from side to side. So I think that was better. However, there's always a competitive side in the game, and we got to fight. And I think you saw in the last moments of the game, they had a chance to score too. So it's as I said before, we're living on the edge. It's like one game, it's one play. But I think we were able to get it our way this one, and happy that we got the win.